The 3toPLAY challenge ended 3.5 weeks ago, I believe 23 or 24 days ago, and I've brought on our top 2 finishers to discuss how these guys destroyed the game free to play with only 3 legendary heroes of their choosing. Whatever they pulled, they got to choose 3 and they were out. The only exception is you were allowed to use Volca since she's 100% guaranteed free for everyone. And as you can see, the progress is amazing. So joining us now on the top of your screen on the right, we've got Hanti. How you doing, Hanti? You are number 1 in this challenge. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. Good to be here.
Good to have you. Good to have you again. You're also a top 5 finisher in the Epic Challenge over the summer. And then here we've got Handid, aka Jandid, depending on if you're gonna American Englishicize it, or keep it with the very nice Handid, the Spanish Castellano version. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good. A bit nervous because I haven't spoken English in a bit.
Your English, we were chatting 10 or 20 minutes before this, the 3 of us. Your English is perfect. And often I tell people, like, your English is so much better than my Chinese could ever be, or whoever I'm speaking to. I actually can speak Spanish, but let me tell you, your English is so much better than my Spanish could ever be. So great to have you here, and don't worry about it at all. So here, guys, you can see we tracked progress across all these different areas. If you're not familiar with the 3toPLAY challenge, I think a lot of you probably know a lot about it. And both of you guys completely maxed out artifact material raid in all 3 gear raids. You guys put up both over 30K in Guild Boss 1. I want to give you a shout out, Handid. You have the #1 score for Guild Boss 1 of this entire challenge. And then you guys both dominated the gear dungeons. We have to give the biggest shout out to you, Hanti. This is what I think really set you apart. You ended up 4 points ahead of the next 3. Handid, you won on that ridiculous Guild Boss 1 score. That was your tiebreaker that got you 2nd place. But this stage 9 and stage 8, this challenge lasted only 45 days. Right? So it's definitely something. And then here you guys both broke 32K for APOC 2. That was the final thing we tracked. Don't worry though, yours truly still did pretty darn well, but I think it's worth noting, I think I did better than just about anyone could that's watching this video. That's not to brag, it's just to say I knew what I was doing and I played hard, and even still, you guys destroyed me, right? You beat me by 17 and 13 points respectively. So I think it's just important for the viewer to know, like, I really knew what I was doing. So did a lot of other great content creators like Slate and Odd One and other top players. And still, you guys really separated yourself from the bunch. So that's the level of play we're going to discuss. So for anyone watching, if you like Watcher of Realms and you like good gameplay, stick with this video, because I'm going to learn a bunch, and I'm sure you will too, because these guys did amazing, amazing things. But I do have to pat myself on the back briefly. You guys, I stalled out on all the 20s. I do think I had 221 in me, but I ran out of time on the last day when I was streaming for 14 hours pushing. But I did get, my goal was to get the top score in APOC 1, and I did. And as you can see, I had some interesting choices, but when I picked Lucius, I was like, at the very least, let's get Guild Boss 2 done. But amazing job for you two, truly amazing.
Fastidious.
So what I figure we do, we donate a little money. What do you guys say?
Sure, go ahead.
Yeah, so for anyone who doesn't know, there was a grand prize for our top 3, and I do have to give a big shout out to Warden. He chose not to join this call, and I thought it was kind of natural. Hanti, you were the overall winner, and then Handid, you were the content creator winner. You know, I think me and you were the only ones in the top 10, and you obviously completely destroyed it at number 2. So congratulations. But also a big shout out to Thrisk, because Handid, you, Warden, and Thrisk all tied with 130 points. And you can see that's a pretty big gap. Shout out to Uldra too. But I mean, yeah, you were the 4.
And actually, Thrisk got that record at like 5 days before the rest of us.
Oh yeah, he was already at 130. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's amazing. So yeah, shout out to Thrisk, shout out to Warden, and then Handid and Hanti as well, as we've been discussing the whole video so far. But I gotta say, so the top 3 out of my own pocket, I gave prize money. So Warden won $25 for 3rd place, Handid, you won 50, and Hanti, you won 100. And I really have to commend you guys. I did not ask you to do this, and you guys didn't know the other ones were doing this, but all 3 of you separately decided to give your prize money to our charity donation fund. So we had, I believe it was 14 unique donors. We raised $605, and part of your grand prize, Hanti, for getting 1st place was you got to pick the charity we donate this money to. So I want to give a shout out to War Guides, who helped me co-host this challenge. Him and I put up $50 each from the start. And then you can see, thank you R-Type, Sterling, Moshi, Christian, Jason, Seamus, other Jason, Sassy, R-Type again. And then we got Warden towards the end of the thing was like, I had a lot of fun with this. He ended up getting third place, but he's like, here's $20. And then you can see these are our top three. So Honded, you donated half of your winnings. Warden matched that with all of his winnings, his third place winnings. And then Haunty, all of your $100 you donated to the charity funds. We raised $605. The charity you chose was the Wild Thunder Wildlife and Animal Rehabilitation Sanctuary. Do you want to speak very quickly why you chose this charity?
Yeah. So I guess one of the reasons is because my parents ended up getting a cat from there. And I just really appreciate wildlife rehabilitation places. And I know that they don't exactly get a lot of money. So every little bit helps.
Yeah, I think this is a great choice. I don't think anyone's going to push back on the decision to help, sick and damaged wildlife. And it's really cool. It seems very local to you, based out of Iowa. Are you from Iowa or the Midwest around there?
Yeah, I am from Iowa. Not from exactly where this is, but from somewhere in Iowa, close enough to be able to go there.
Fantastic. I love it. So I've already queued up the donation, $605. I got my PayPal here ready to go. I got to remember in editing to blank out my name. Let's donate it, $605. Pay in full. Yes, sir. And there we go. Okay. It seems like there we go. Donations have been made. Let's get into the content. I say let's start with you, Honded. Let's go into your account, and then we'll head into yours, Haunty. Sound good, guys?
Yeah, go ahead.
Perfect. All right, here we are on Honded's 3toPLAY account. I love the way you did this, the Hond or Jand 3, the 3 for the ED. Very, very nice. I think that's better than my 3Stidious name. Let's get into it. So I think we talked about this before. The way I want to structure this with both of you, I want you guys to tell me what were like the best decisions you made, the best kind of keystone turning point moments, sliding doors, instances where you think you did the right thing, because obviously you guys did a lot of right things to dominate this challenge in such a major way. And then I also want to talk about your luckiest moments, because something before I hand the mic over to you guys, we got to be clear about is all three of us did well. You two did exceptionally well. And to do that, you need to know what you're doing in a big way, and you need to be lucky in a big way. So I don't want to bury that with viewers. However, viewers, you don't have to just use 3 legendaries. So even if you didn't get the top 3, like you're gonna see your pulls, Honded, are outrageous. But even if you don't get those pulls, you get so many legendaries in the first couple weeks. Like you really will be able to do a lot once you know what you're doing. So stick with us. These guys are going to help you know what you're doing. So let's start with you, Honded. What were the best things you did? What do you want me to show off?
So the first thing is Vierna. I think it was really important, very like day 3 or something, to have some AoE mage to be able to defeat specifically like the campaign and stuff, to progress fast, basically. So Vierna was the one that helped me tons in that process, and helped me to farm like experience stage, like chapter 7, I think it is. And she was the first one, yeah, chapter stage 7. Then I think it was important for me to get to stage 18 of Gear Raid 1, just to be able to farm a bit hard, like only mythic equipped. Yeah.
Yeah.
And after that, my goal was to try to advance as fast as I could to in Gear Raid 2 and Gear Raid 3 to get to stage 18 too. So second moment of luck, because the first one for me was getting Vierna. The second moment was getting Silas as my third legendary. And I gotta say, I didn't try to, how's it called? Reroll, looking for the perfect start. It was just the luckiest I got. So because I got Silas, I decided to push a bit harder on Gear Raid 3. Got there to stage 18 a bit earlier than Gear Raid 2, and then what I did and what I tried to do was use friendly assist to get to Gear Raid 2 18, so I could try to do the gear dungeons. And my third lucky moment was a piece that I got like in the fifth round, something like that. I think you can check it there. It's in
Who's it on?
a bangle. No, it should not be placed. The first one.
Okay. Ooh,
That
nice.
one.
Yeah, with the flat attack
Yeah.
too.
Yeah. So I got that very early in the game when I did not even had one decent piece in the right side.
Yeah. I actually want to take a quick moment. Viewers can see you have a lot of ancients. You actually probably have just about the same, maybe even slightly less ancients than I did. And a lot of people were saying like, oh, you're so lucky to get all these ancients. And I know, Hanti, you're going to have, I saw it already, you have even more than this. This is not luck. This is just quantity. We talked about this a lot in the Epic Challenge interview with the four of you, like Hanti included, with that top 5. It's just like, if you don't pull as much and you just decide, all right, I've reached that efficient point, like as you said, Han did, it was like 18 and then you get into the 19s and then eventually you all set out the 20s or the 21s, just put your head down and do it. And even if you have bad luck and you're only getting 1 every 200, if you do 2,000 runs, that's 10 ancients, and 1 or 2 of them are going to be good. And that's how I wanted to let you speak, but we have to talk about this Virna build. Oh my God, this is unbelievable. To only have to go 1 single crit damage piece and just have so much extra attack that you can get her with fairly low base attack at 43, 41, get over 16k with over 350% crit damage. This build is amazing. For 45 days, this build is amazing. So congratulations.
Yes. Yeah. And as you said, like, not
And
only
you got her
was
exclusive?
pushing twice.
Twice.
Yeah. Yes. I think that was another lucky moment. But as you were saying, one important aspect is that many people don't want to farm gear rates stage 14, 15, 16. They just want to get to 18 with the bare minimum, and that's possible for sure. But they need to at least do 100 or 200 or even 300 runs before getting to stage 18.
I will tell you, I'm glad you said that. And it's kind of cool because, not to keep bringing myself in, but it just gives us a third perspective. For me, I did do that. And I think that contributes to my, obviously I ended up with different heroes. All of us have all different heroes aside from you two sharing Virna. But I did do that. I didn't do 18 until I could. I didn't do any farming besides tens of runs until I could get an 18. And I for anyone that was keeping up with my streaming, I was down in like the 40s and 50s for a while. It does pay off because I saved a bunch of stamina pots and I just went insane and then jumped right into like the top 20 once I got some gear. However, you guys had that extra week or 2 weeks and I think it clearly paid off and was a great decision. Like, yeah, it kind of sucks farming stage 16, but you're going to get a lot of red gear at stage 16. You're not going to get many ancients on 16 or 18. It doesn't matter. It's just getting those red pieces that get, up to plus 16, right? So I think you guys both nailed that. I think it's a really good tip you had.
Yeah, and besides that, I think it is also important to notice that, for example, my account and Hantui's, we got lucky enough to not needing to farm lower stages, but instead farming stages 18 and 19 pretty soon. But for a regular account, that's not needed. You could do it with epics or more common legendaries.
Yeah, I will say the Virna thing's pretty major because people will see if we look at the top 10 here. Let's just look at the top 8. Only 2 players in the top 8 didn't have Virna. So if anyone doesn't know, when you start a new account in Watcher of Realms, I think it's like 1 or 2 days you wait, right? 48 hours, I want to say. And then you get this 3-day banner or 2-day banner of Virna and Silas. And picking up that Virna AoE magic DPS, we like it, but it's not such an important thing. It feels like when you get deeper into the game, but at the beginning it is God. So that definitely helps you, speed that up. I mean, do you remember around what day you beat 118? That probably would have been within 2 weeks.
Like day 4.
Day 4? Day 4. Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Jeez. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I think I did it on the day I pulled Virna and Dolores. I jumped from 13 to 18.
Nice. Yeah. I never pulled Dolores still, but I obviously didn't care because I had an A2 Diao Chan. But yeah, no, I mean, who you pull is going to dictate how and when you push things. One thing you didn't mention, which I think would be remiss not to mention, we all had Lunaria, right? And that is so huge, and that is luck. You didn't get Lunaria?
No, I just used Ein as my lord.
Wow, okay, we'll come back to that. But wow, crazy, amazing. You won without Lunaria. But that definitely helped me. So I got Lunaria. That's what I got to go straight to 319. So that was my early thing. I was at 319 on, I don't know what day, it was 18 or something like that. So that was kind of my like efficient thing. But yeah, like let the account direct to you. You did great with your Virna. This build is God tier. And part of the reason this build is God tier is because you were farming hard from the get-go. What do you want to show us next? Any other things? Any key builds? Any other moments? Lucky things? Skill things?
So, if you want to check in my channel, or if you want to check like Gear Rate 320, I didn't have Lunaria for that moment, and I for sure Hantu's build is way harder than mine. But trying to tuning in everything without Piercer Lord and without even Mole was really hard for me, at least. It took me quite a lot of hours to do that.
Yeah, no. That's very impressive, and I think actually you just talked at the last thing you said there is probably the most important. Yes, you had a bonded Silas that really undermines a lot of the difficulty of 20 and 21 because it's hard because, oh my God, the defenses are so high. How am I going to overcome this? And then he's like, I'll just ignore them. However, even with that, especially when you're doing it every day, testing, right? Can I get it today? Can I get it today?
Yeah.
And then once you think you have the opportunity and you do it, it is hours. You could watch your videos, you could watch my streams, anyone else that was streaming war guides, right?
Yes.
You realize as a veteran player, oh, I'm going to get this. But I had days where I was at 7 hours on one stage just because that's what you have to do, right?
Yeah. Especially those stage 19, 18, 19, 20, those took me quite a while. Yeah. To push.
216, I did it off camera. 216. For me, that was like the hardest thing I had to do this whole challenge. I had no vortex. I didn't have any healers built. I spent 4 hours off camera and I was just out of principle. I was like, I got to get this done. How can I not do it? And then for viewers, you don't have to do that. You don't have to sweat it. Just come back and revisit when you're stronger. But yeah, obviously, if you want to be as efficient as these two, you got to do it. Let's check out the Silas build just while we're here. We got Broken Set.
You can you can quick change. I have
you have a saved build.
Yeah. The first one, I think, right on the top.
Daño 6? This one?
Daño 1.
Daño 1, okay.
One. Yeah, that one.
Okay, yeah, nice. Wow, look, again, crit damage through the roof and very, very respectable attack. So him and Virna, these two must be these are the best builds on the account, I'm guessing.
Yes. And well, one tip I can give to all the players is not to try to have a set for Silas, another one for Virna, but instead, what I did is call my sets damage 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 even, to depending on the stage that I was trying, equip accordingly my heroes.
Dude, this is insane. You have a maxed out Spirit Siphon.
That was afterwards, after the challenge ended. But I had the other one. You can check there. The
Blight Collar?
It called?
Wow. Yeah. Amazing.
That one. And I got his exclusive.
Sorry. Wow. Yeah.
He's exclusive.
It's this perfect balance here, right? I only got one Spirit Siphon, but that's largely my fault because I neglected the Artifact Material raid. Do you want to talk about how once you kind of settled in at these higher stages, how did you prioritize what you wanted to farm when? I think that's something a lot of viewers would like to know.
So for me, the most important stuff to do is Gear Rate 3, stage 19, 20, 21, whichever. It doesn't matter that much. After you got like one Soulbound Arcana, or even two, or one Soulbound, one Infernal Roar, you can do other stuff. So one important thing that you get from the 3 grid rates is the materials to forge, and that allows you to not needing that much to farm Gear Rate 1. And I got quite lucky with that. And afterwards, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, I think you did it exactly right. I'm very excited when we move over to your account, Hanti, because we both did the Epic Challenge, and that wasn't a thing. And I felt that we didn't have the Forge when we did that, and now we did, and it really felt like everything changed. I just wanted to point out one more thing. So you have two pieces on Silas that people can play even over a year without ever getting. So like this piece here, with the 3 purples where you need them, and basically a purple roll on flat attack, getting 4 perfect substats on a crit damage or attack bonus for Infernal Roar or Soulbound Arcana. Everyone will get if you farm hard enough, but it can take over a year, and you got it in a couple weeks.
Yes.
And then this, I have to point out, I have done for the left side gear over here in the forge, I've done, I want to say about 28,000 materials. I've never even got, maybe it's over 30 now. I've never gotten one piece with these substats ever. So this is pretty remarkable. So congratulations. Not trying to like say you were unbelievably skillful, but I just want people to know it's like you need the luck, and it's not you being super lucky getting the luck. You're giving yourself every opportunity to be lucky, right? Because you're not pulling too much extra stuff. You're not farming inefficiently. You're just putting your head down and putting your diamonds into farming. So it's really, these builds are like, I do a lot of takeovers. Sorry, then I'll end it right back to you guys. I do a lot of takeovers, and I will be on day 400 accounts with builds that don't sniff this. So bravo.
Yeah, I think that even if you don't get that, it's about time. It's just a matter of time. So if you don't get lucky with farming, with forging, you could just farm gear 1 to supply that stuff that you're missing. So that's it. That is it. Afterwards, well, for me, artifacts is just like, or it was just like to get a bit of everything, and I got quite lucky too, getting the club. And afterwards, well, I just wanted to hunt a bit for the hex artifact after the challenge ended. I have spent quite a lot of resources there and haven't got it. So
yeah,
you can take
it's
1 luck for the door.
That's really what it is, right? It's like you can get on your first 10 pull, or you cannot get it on your first 2,000. It just is what it is. So like it comes and goes. So all you can do is really set yourself up for success, and clearly you set yourself up for success in a major way here. I want to give a shout out to Elysia too. Did you have Elysia, Hanti?
Yep.
Yeah, I got her at the very end, and she's unbelievable, wouldn't you say?
Yes. Yeah. The best by far at any boss content.
Yeah.
And I can say one more important thing to notice is that doing kill boss gave me quite a lot of soul stones, epic soul stones. So that's why you can see it. Check.
How many did you get?
I think more than 15.
Guess how many I got?
Like 2?
I got 1.
1.
No.
Yeah.
On the epic challenge, I got like 10, or maybe 8, but it was like we did it was short. We did 30 days. This I got 1, and I was on 3 and 4 the whole time. Not about me. Anyway, any final thoughts? Anything you want to leave the viewers with? Anything that you wish I showed people and we didn't?
To be honest, no. Perhaps gear dungeons. We didn't spoke about that, but
yeah, sure.
And 2 is a better account for those 2. Yeah.
I think at the very least we can click in here and just get a look. So yeah, you stopped at 7, but you did beat it. It's a kind of natural stopping point. It's interesting though, because 7 and 8 are the same stage. 8 is obviously just harder. What was happening on 8? It was just a little too much for you to handle?
I barely tried because stage 7 was just enough for me.
I hear
so
you.
I didn't. Yeah. What I can say about this one is that Alicia can clear quite good those 2 enemies that are the Banshees. I think there are Coral. Yeah, and Hex and Iona are the ones in charge of the 4 enemies that comes from the left top. Yeah.
Okay, interesting. So Gear Dungeon 1 is where I struggled the most of anything in this challenge. So you're saying you had Hex and Iona over here or something to deal with these guys?
Yes.
Nice.
Cool. One, like rotating one and then the other one.
And you had Elysia here, maybe point it up to get him early or something like that? Or how do you use her?
No, close to the portal.
Looking down here? Gotcha.
Yeah.
And then you had maybe like a Dolores here with a Myrna or something? Or
well, you can do a fast
Oh, sure,
battle
yeah.
there.
Is
Just
everyone
to-
geared
just
out?
to
We can just
fix no, but
I'm sure that'll be fine. Let's see. Yeah, good idea. No, it's really cool. I gotta say, Virna Gear Dungeon 1, that's like peanut butter and jelly baby, isn't it?
yeah. Actually, I thought before that Kamet was better than her, but she's easier to use. So
Comet, you said it's perfect. Comet is better than her, but she is easier to use. It seems kind of counterintuitive, but especially when you're like scraping by, then yeah, I think she's the most plug and play. Yeah, pretty cool setup here. So you got the tank. You're gonna put Alicia behind. I actually did the very same thing. I just used Magda over here. That was one of the legendaries I locked. But yeah, obviously they're coming off shockingly OP because we got Power of Dominance. But pretty cool. I think a lot of people probably wouldn't think to do this little time it out cycling on and off strat between Hex and Iona. I think that's quite clever. Obviously having the A5 greed is pretty special.
Hex is.
That'll be okay.
Yeah, that's true.
People get the idea. So really cool strat, really clean. Do you want to show Gear Dungeon 2 as well, or should we head over to Haunty? What do you think?
Yeah, you can share it. Is a different strategy because what I
Definitely,
was
let's
trying
do
to
it.
do was leaving alone the Volta's clone at the top one because it wasn't mandatory. Let's say I found a strategy. I don't recall who posted it in YouTube, but I decided to follow it, and it worked really good for me.
All right, let's see it. So you're setting up with Volk on the bottom with the Rage Regen, makes sense with Borit. I'm assuming we all used Borit, right? How can you not? It's kind of unbelievable.
And one more thing, yeah.
So good.
One more thing I can say is that with Volca and Street, you can rely on those two. You don't need anyone else, like
Totally.
from AoE.
Yeah, definitely agree. And it's especially now that they flattened the rates on the epics. Like there was a lot of RNG when we did the epic challenge, Haunty. Like, do you have Estrid or do you not? Where this, like, we got a rate up on her. So like a lot of us just pulled an A5 Estrid. And at the very least, everyone probably got a copy because they flattened the rates and gave her a rate up. So pretty cool. This is kind of nice to see you cycling and Silas there. And then, yeah, obviously Estrid takes care of these guys. That's pretty interesting, though, to do it that way.
Yeah, some people might think that Street cannot do the left side because of her ray regen, but it is all about timing. What I did was, thanks to Dolores there, I was able to activate Street ultis a bit early in the early phases, so I could activate it on time on the late ones.
Yeah, I think that's well put. And also something I found is I had one run, I don't remember, this is a thing I struggled with a lot, getting the Estrid timing down. Sometimes she was felt a little too strong. So I took a little off her because she kills a little slower. So then when her ult ends, she has time to kill them with some basics and build some rage back up. And that was what was helping me cycle. Because I was running her with Diao Chan and she was just destroying everything. And then she would just have all this downtime where she wasn't building rage. So that's another thing people can think about. But I really like this here, cycling the Silasin. Pretty cool. This is, you people get it. This is just the run falling apart because of a weird glitch. But excellent, really, really nice. And this I like to see because so this is interesting, right? So you beat stage 8, which makes sense because the stage changes at 9. And yeah, what I was saying there before with stage 7 on Gear Dungeon 1, I thought in my head we were on Gear Dungeon 2. But it's kind of interesting how you have these couplings. So like naturally, I'm actually quite interested to hear what hung you up and what made it impossible because you also stalled on 8, right? But then a lot of people like me would have stalled on 6 because 5 and 6 are the same stage. But this is amazing. We got one final thought, or shall we move on to Haunty? This was great.
Just show the legendaries that you were.
That's true. If buckle up. If anyone that's had bad legendary luck, obviously these are all free to play accounts. I think have you pulled any of these recently, or were these all the ones you had on day 45?
Yeah, I got 2 of them, I think.
So 2 of these are new, guys. 2 of these are new. The rest he pulled in 45 days free to play. Get ready. So we got a Beelzebub and a Nye. Those must be the new ones in the Overflow.
Yeah, and those 2, I think.
Yeah. So basically God tier and like not terrible, but not good. And get ready. Obviously, you got Silas. You got did you put soul stones or you pull 3 hexes?
2 soul stones. Yeah,
Two
I
soul
got
stones, okay.
one big one and the other one.
Was that
One-on-one,
during the
I mean.
challenge or was that after?
Yeah, during the challenge.
Unbelievable. That's unbelievable. You're such an asshole. Okay, we got Vulcans for
Yeah.
free. We got Virna, who you got on day 3, and now it's gonna get people angry. So you got Comet, you got Ardia, you got Zila 2. All of these were unused, right? It was the 3-to-play challenge, guys. 2 Xenas,
Yes.
which would have actually helped you so much. Cerberus could have helped. A Twyla, Leia, Lyra, Lubu, Cyrus, Yuri, Lucius, Arrogance. And then here's a Nyx and a Razak to boot.
The ones that I got afterwards were Cyrus, Arrogance,
Yeah.
and
Okay.
I'm not sure if perhaps one else in the top, but those 2 for sure. Yeah.
But yeah, this quantity and quality is just off the charts. So people can rage in the comments about this. But yeah, this is the beauty of the 3-to-play challenge. You got to sit with play your account with Ardia and Leia and Twyla on the bench. Pretty fun.
And
Yuri.
actually, also important, I never, just like the first 3-4 days, I pulled in times 15 events, but afterwards was just times 2.
Okay,
so-
that's really interesting.
Actually, I've been telling my viewers to sometimes that check on times 2, that perhaps if you haven't gotten lucky in the times 15, you could try to do the other ones. Yeah, times 2.
All right, perfect.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna agree with that advice, but I won't disagree with it. Let's
Yeah, I
put
mean,
it that way.
some people haven't got any lucky, so it's like
It's true.
if you know you won't get lucky, why not give it a try?
Yeah. Well, here's hoping the 20x helps a lot more people get a lot luckier.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Could we see how many polls you ended up doing total?
Oh yeah, that'd be interesting. Let's check that out. Obviously, you've done a couple of these.
And also
since,
just
'cause
like
that's a ton. Yeah.
what was your kind of strategy with like respect to using diamonds for stamina versus deciding to summon?
My strategy was basically summon everything until I got Silas, and after that I tried to get Amol or Dolores, I think. And when I didn't, well, just Virna and Silas was enough. So I started using every single diamond to farm for stamina. Yeah.
Yeah, and great job at that. I'm assuming you were about the same, Hanti. Let's head over to your account and you can take us through it. Give us just 1 second. All right, here we are. We're heading into Hanti's account. Thanks again so much, Handed. Really appreciate it. And yeah, you're level 7. So you haven't touched this account since day 45, and you got to level 72.
Yeah, correct. I took a kind of a different approach from Haunted. I spent the vast majority of my diamonds on extra stamina, and I only summoned when I like really wanted to hit pity. So I didn't really summon as much, probably.
I do want to say, for viewers though, it's easy to summon less when you're getting stuff, you know? So like if you didn't have a Dolores, right, you might have been summoning a bit more. If you didn't have a Maul or a Vortex and Idril. Very interesting, you got A2 Idril. There's gonna be a lot to talk about here, guys. So congratulations, you are our #1 winner. And also, I think I said at the beginning, but if it wasn't clear, Honded, you were the content creator winner and also #2. It's a great job. You can see we kind of covered all this when we went through the records. Where should we start? What was your best decision of this whole thing? How did you dominate? Was it the gear dungeons? Just you're the gear dungeon master at this point?
Yeah. So I guess my strategy at the beginning ended up panning out. That from the epic challenge, I knew that gear dungeon 1 was going to be a struggle. So I figured I would try my best to get characters that would help. So pulled Vienna. So she was kind of no thought whatsoever that obviously should use her because she's great in Gear Raid 1, and it's probably the easiest to use in Gear Dungeon 1. And then I pulled Morrigan, and I was like, well, this makes it even easier because she's just gonna boost Vienna that much more. So then finally, I think my best decision was like a week to go. With a week left, I had a couple of things that I really needed to get done. I needed to max out the Apocalypse and I didn't have a cleanser, so I basically just saved up all my diamonds and finally spent them until I pulled an Asande to get 30k. And then
Wow, nice.
to get Morrigan to do her job in Gear Dungeon 1, she needed her exclusive, so I basically went all in on farming AMR 22 until I got it.
Yeah, bravo. That's a big bit of luck at the end to get that exclusive, though.
Yeah, very lucky. But I mean, you have to realize what you need to beat the levels. Like if I didn't know I
totally.
needed that, then I wouldn't have done all the farming.
Yeah, like with the Epic Challenge, you kind of had these different strategies you knew you could employ, and you also had a good sense of what would be easy and what would be hard. Like I'll talk about my stuff maybe at the very end, but I had a similar thought, and I was, I think, wrong in the end. But you were right. I think Gear Dungeon 1 ended up being the single hardest piece of content, and you kind of built your strategy around that, and that was a major differentiator, right? Like, I don't think anyone even got stage 8, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, Uldra, shout out to Uldra. I got stage 8. A little with Virna and Valkyra. Okay, that checks out. But yeah, everyone else, we got a couple 7s with our 2nd, 3rd, and 4th place. Shout out to Honda as well. Again, doing great there. But everyone else, you know, like for me, I really think there's a lot of places I surprised myself, did well. I got 4. I was stuck, you know, and 4 wasn't even that easy. I was just like, you know what, we're calling it. Let's move to Gear Dungeon 2. I'll do better, you know? So I think had a really nice foresight, because I think a lot of people probably looked at this Morgan pick as a strange pick, but clearly it panned out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Without her, there's no way I would have gotten even stage 8 done on Gear Dungeon 1. So she was very key for that.
All right, took a moment to gear out your Gear Dungeon 1 team, because I think this is going to be one of the more interesting things we could show, because this did end up being like the thing that stopped a bunch of people. We can also take a quick opportunity, because I just used your save plans. I can show you, I'm assuming this Morgan build and Virna build are like 2 of your best builds on the whole account. Is that correct?
I think so. I don't remember 100%, but I think so.
So let's see. We got 5 Ancients here, all tier 2, looking beautiful. Got Morgan up to almost 16k, which is amazing, off of 4291. Attack speed's pretty solid. Crit damage is excellent. No rage regen, but I think that will make sense once we see the run. And yeah, like you said, you sniped that exclusive, which is just phenomenal. Let's see your Virna. Nearly to Haunted level. Kind of depends. You just get it on the attack, a little bit less on the crit damage. These are 2 of the better Virnas people are going to see, maybe period, if they don't keep up with a lot of content, but certainly the best things anyone will ever see on month-and-a-half-old accounts. Unbelievable. I love this. This is crazy too. You got 2 different Wicked Vengeance Ancients. My God.
Oh,
so
yeah,
clearly,
the chess piece, I was able to buy 2 of them from the Gear Dungeon shop. So that's how I got those. And then if you didn't notice, I also have Virna's exclusive to plus 16.
My God.
So that helped a lot.
That you can say one more thing, and is that he defeated stage 7 or Gear Dungeon 1 in like the first month.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah, that's pretty remarkable. I think a lot of us, myself included, I just got them both to stage 2, and I was like, we'll tackle this on day 44 kind of thing, or day 43. But you had that early push, which gave you a lot of free stuff from the shop, which was very clever. And both of you were much faster in AMR. I'll just quickly say, guys, watch some guides, watch some of my videos, Haunted's videos, any content creator. Like, I, even having done 1,000 runs in AMR 19, 20, 21, 22 across all the takeovers I've done, I underrated how much I'd be able to push my account. So I didn't do it till it was too late. You know, if I'd done that on day 35, which I could have done, it would have been way better. That's something you guys did. Just seeing these artifacts, I think that sets it apart, right? Obviously, you got lucky. And obviously, you got lucky to pick top tier progression heroes that all had exclusives. But really cool stuff, really good. Should we head into this run, or any final things you want to talk about?
Yeah, I guess talking about exclusives. I also got 2 of Valeria's, but I didn't think hers was that good, so I didn't really end up using it anyways.
We don't need to brag about your luck on that. One of the worst exclusives in the game, let's be honest. Okay, let's head into the battle and let's see it. There is a chance, I hate this, so I was just gonna say that this is the thing. This happened when we did your Epic Challenge, not the interview, but when we did like the best account, the best player in Wander Realms. After 6 months, you beat all the stage 10s, and it was kept failing because it's too strong with the power dominance, which just sucks to showcase. But let's see here. So far, so good. Very interesting setting Greed up there. What made you put Greed here and Virna here? You didn't want Virna hitting earlier?
I forget. I think it was pretty much would have been the same thing, but I don't remember. Oh, no. I needed Vierna next to Laurel because I didn't have Hollow, so I had to put her in that spot.
You didn't have Hollow. Wow, that's amazing.
No.
You know Laurel, no Hollow and no Lunaria is pretty wild. So this is, I just want to, can I pause this really fast? You did the similar thing. So this was like, you talked to this, Haunty, you had an edge on us because you had put so many hours, because you did like the continued Keep Reckon challenge of the Epic account. And like this Aeon strat is like strictly unique, something you figured out and very clever. She's kind of here tanking to make sure you don't have to be cycling Morgan in or out. And look at this Morgan. Obviously it's POD, but that's she's just tearing this up.
Yeah, and she needs the exclusive because otherwise she only hits 3 of the 4 guys and like doesn't even get close to killing all of them.
Yeah. So just to explain to the viewers that aren't like as intimately familiar with this gear dungeon as we are, typically you'd want to take all these guys out together. You'd put like a Valkyra or a Thalon or an Eris here. You're picking the first 4 off here, and then this Gluttony in a very speedy, tanky build, and then getting solid heals from Vortex can just keep devouring these guys. So he's in a Lunacy Visor, obviously, so he can take on 3 at once. And I mean, this is actually, the auto worked out beautifully. This is like clockwork. It's going to take a little while we trigger these Gluttony ults. But yeah, Brava, really cool. Really good stuff.
Yeah.
So people can't be complaining about their anti-healers. They can't be complaining that they don't have Common or Valkyra or Thalon or all that stuff. You know what we should do? I mentioned this last time, but we never got around to it. We should do this on one of our accounts and make a video of it if you want, just to show what it, you know, like not in epics only. See how low we could bring the gear requirement down, just to show people it's like, yeah, it's, you got to kind of think way outside the box. But I think this is such a good strat. This is so clever, so really impressive, and really good job like doing the research in the months leading up to a challenge you didn't know was coming, and then having perfected basically the game-winning strat, right? If we think about it, you beat Haunted by 4 points, and you had 2 stages, and that's it. And he would have beat you because the tiebreaker was Guild Boss 1. So that was it, right? That was the game.
Yeah, that was entirely it. Put all my marbles in that, and you know, I didn't have the heroes to do Guild Boss 1, obviously. He had Hex and Silas. Yeah. Morgan and Virenei are useless for that. So
yeah, I actually got to say, whether you meant to or not, Haunted, you dominated. You had Bonded Silas and you had Hex. So like Guild Boss 1, you were set up for success. No one else here had both Bonded Silas and Hex. You know, Joker IQ had Hex. A bunch of people had Bonded Silas. Having both, you know, the 2, 3, and 4 all tied. So the only way someone was going to beat you guys all had identical performances, right? Chest 5, you know, stage 8 in Gear Dungeon 2, stage 7 in Gear Dungeon 4. Someone had to find a way to break through the Gear Dungeon. And Haunty, there's Morgan. I really think this is probably the weirdest pick of the whole thing. I think maybe, besides maybe some of my picks down here, but certainly for the top 5, top 8, that won it, you know? So congratulations, man. Let us know what you think in the comments, everybody watching. Any final things you want to show, or any thoughts you have, Haunted, about what Haunty did?
I guess I have a couple of things. Like,
please.
I used a similar strategy to what Haunted did for Gear Dungeon 2, where I just entirely ignored the middle. I ended up using Lily to keep somebody alive and cycled tanks.
Okay, interesting.
And then also my Gear Raid 2 strategy was kind of interesting because I did it before Volca A1. Okay.
Is this something I could show, or
you really just need to gear Vierna and
we got these guys going. I think this will work. Right? I don't think any of these other guys want to gear. Yeah, let's watch it.
Yeah.
Obviously, we're gonna have POD. That's something else. Just to bash myself a bit, I just put off Gear Raid 2 forever because I'd made progress in Gear Raid 3. I kind of had an idea of priorities. And I was like, let's just wait for Volca. I also missed 2 days of Volca, so I was 2 days late. I definitely could have taken 19, if not 20 without it, but I just didn't, and that was a huge mistake. Let's see. So you snipe with Vierna. What are we looking for here? Something with Valeria?
I guess, we'll see it. Valeria right here basically handles this wave all by herself.
So you got to time out the ult, then she can't die during her ult. And she's just going to one-shot all of these guys, I'm guessing, nearly. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah, and then she explodes. Wow, so she takes out... That's amazing. She takes out both lane... We got to watch that again. So people don't know, when Valeria's ult ends, there's like this big AoE physical damage explosion, essentially. And then if she took fatal damage during the ult, then she dies as well. It's not required that she dies. It's only if she took fatal damage during. But that's something I've never seen, and I've never even thought of. I want to see that again.
Yeah.
You're right. This was worth showing.
Yeah.
I didn't think of this before. I just had Valeria, and I was like, she might be able to do this. And it's like, that worked out well.
That's pretty amazing. I wonder what it would look like without the POD. I mean, obviously you did it, but yeah. So you just tank it with the Decimus, and you just that's crazy. I'm really impressed.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
At the time, I had to put my best gear on Valeria, and I also used Wrath as a Lord just to give her a little extra damage.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. So what day do you think you beat 221?
I don't know. Maybe it might have been in the teens. Like
that was really
teens,
interesting
like
what you did there
20.
too.
Yeah. Valeria had to be able to like handle the right side a little bit
because you were a unit down. Yeah. Because you didn't.
Yeah,
have
Baron couldn't cycle around without the Volca A1 yet.
Exactly. Yeah. Amazing. When did you realize you needed to lock Valeria? Had you already just decided to lock her because of Gear Dungeon 2? Or did you have this in mind when you locked her? Or when did you find this out?
No, I didn't have this in mind when I locked her. It was afterwards, and I mostly locked Valeria because she was my second legendary, and my first one sucked, and I was like, I feel like I have to pick somebody. I don't know if I'm going to get that many good people. So it was kind of a panic pick to use her, but worked out okay.
That actually brings up, that's a good transition to the final thing I wanted to say. And then for the rest of the 5 or 10 minutes we go, the floor is entirely your guys. But one thing I want to I don't know if brag's the word, but at least talk about for me, I didn't pull many legendaries, and I had weird legendaries I was pulling. So you'll see no one in the 8 above me had a single one of the heroes I chose. Not to say these aren't great heroes, and I'm trying to see if anyone used anyone. So not until number 16 did somebody even have, or 15 and 16, they had Diao. But no one had the normal ones I used, and certainly not Diao. So what I did, which you guys didn't do, and you had more conventional pulls, so I think it helped a lot, but I still a little bit regret. It's I pulled Lucius really early, and I pulled Magna not that late, but I kept waiting, being but what if I get that special thing? And though I ended up in a good place, anyone that kept up with my streams, I did so much of this the last 3 days, just knowing I could kind of lean on some of my know-how. Whereas I think, I had a similar number of ancients to you guys, but they were not all these beautiful tier 2 ancients. And certainly I didn't have any of that forge mats. I think that was the huge differentiator. So if this can help anyone, don't be oh, should I invest in this or should it be perfect? Find something good, and that will likely be good enough. Obviously, getting these home runs, especially the bonded Silas and bonded Virna, that's huge. But I mean, there's enough variety here. As long as you know the legendary is good and you have some vision, it will help. So I'll just quickly, just to roast myself one more time, pat myself on the back. I did have the best APOC 1 score, which was kind of my goal. I didn't push it any higher than knowing I would get it. And then Warden came super duper duper close at the end, but at least I got it. And that was why I took Lucius. I didn't think everyone was going to get 30K. So I thought that would be my Gear Dungeon 1 moment. And everyone at the top got 30K. So that I completely blew it, right? Whereas, maybe I don't lock in Lucius, I lock in someone else, or I just decide that way earlier. I mean, I locked in Diao as soon as I got her, which was somewhere early 20s. And I didn't lock these guys into well after day 30. Whereas, I mean, when did you guys start locking in? It was probably much, much, much earlier, right? So I think that was something I blew, and you guys did an amazing job at.
Yeah, so for me, it was important to lock early Virna, and as soon as I got Silas, I knew, bonded Silas is amazing, so lock him too. But Hex, I locked him day 40, something like that.
Did you lock him being I might win this and I might need the Guild Boss 1 score? Is that why you locked him?
No, I wanted to try him in Gear Dungeon 2, but in the end, didn't use him.
You didn't use him at all in Gear Dungeon 2?
No.
It's awesome.
No, because the Volca clone that is not the physical damage one, I just used a tank to
just
wait
eat it up
for the explosion. And that's it. Yeah.
How did you kill the little pick off the other random guy, the archer guy that comes out? I should have been paying more
Waited
attention.
until the end.
Okay, and then Silas took care of it.
So because I was cycling Silas, yeah.
Yeah.
So he took care of those.
Awesome. I think you guys did a really phenomenal job. Definitely let us know, everyone, your thoughts in the comments. But I just think it's pretty remarkable because, yeah, not to keep relating it to myself, but this is obviously something I put a huge amount of my time into. And I really sincerely, not just blowing smoke, I think you guys took it to another level, like thought further outside the box, had a clearer vision, and really, especially this top 4, like shout out to Warden and Thrisk again, just an amazing performance to have these 4 different accounts, literally basically max all content. And the only key differentiator is just, yeah, that foresight to dominate Gear Dungeon 1. So congratulations, Haunty. Congratulations, Hondid. You guys, any final words of wisdom for the audience before we go?
I'd like to watch Gear Raid 321 from Haunty. I think that would help a ton of people.
You know what? How about we do this? How about we just save that and we'll do it as a separate video? Something people can, a little teaser, something people can look forward to.
Okay. Yeah.
Does that work for you, Haunty?
Yeah, that's fine with me.
You got to finish the video. You're the big winner. What do you think?
So, okay, what would I say? Words of wisdom. So I guess, yeah, what I knew from before was that you didn't need any legendaries to do Gear Raid 3, was that Liam works perfectly fine instead of Silas or anyone else. Liam was so helpful. Gear Raid 3, he hard carried the damage on the boss, and then he's actually super helpful in Void Rift too, and multiple of the different boss stages. And I guess another big thing to mention is that, you know, not everyone would be able to do what I did. Frankly, I didn't have a job during this. I'm starting a job soon, but I didn't have a job. And doing this much in 45 days requires you to play a lot.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of it, in the beginning, I was playing like 10 hours a day, trying to push everything as much as I could. So also in this game, there's the time aspect that, you know, a lot of people probably can't invest as much time as I was able to. So it's going to probably take you a little longer, but it doesn't mean you can't do it in a little bit more time.
Absolutely. And I think that's where we can end it because, yeah, if you want to perfectly min-max and be the most accomplished free-to-play account with all these restrictions in 45 days, I'm sure you were both playing hours and hours a day. However, you can also just, on day 90, accomplish all of this with half or a third of the effort and then go watch a handed guide, right? Go watch a haunted guide, go watch my video, go watch war guides, whatever you want, and you'll be fine. So this is the sweaty fun version, but there's also the relaxed fun version. And I just got to commend you. You didn't have a job. I had a job. My job was playing this game for a living and I still couldn't keep up. So congratulations to you. You guys both did so amazing. Thank you so much for joining me on the channel. And yeah, this was just a lot of fun. The final thing, you can answer now or you can just think about it and DM me, but I want to ask the viewers too. We're obviously going to do another challenge in a month or two, maybe 2 or 3, maybe 3 or 4. I think we still need to exhale a bit, but it's coming. So if anyone has ideas for the next challenge, be sure to let me know, let these guys know. Anything pop into your mind or that you've had in the back of your mind already?
I thought a little bit about it. Like the only thing I could think of was you could just pick a specific faction where you use legendaries from them. I don't know how well that would work out, but
yeah, I think we can, it's not going to be soon. So we can take some time. The viewers can take some time. Let me know, let everybody know. I'll give one shout out to Susie. She had the idea of beta play, and you can only use heroes, not legendaries, just heroes that are B rating or lower on my tier list. My tier list is going to get a huge makeover. So there probably will be more there. I think I've leaned too heavily into the S and S+, so I'm going to try to recalibrate all that. That might be something we do. But yeah, if anyone has ideas, let us know. Thank you two so much. Again, congratulations. And congratulations to everyone that participated. We had 414 participants, 17 creators, and some amazing performances. So thank you. Shout out to the Wild Thunder Wars, which is kind of funny because the game is war, and this is the Wars charity. Great choice by you, Haunty. Thank you guys so much for watching. Share it with your mother, and we'll see you real soon. Bye.
Fastidious.